that spacer for that magneto. Okay, we'll get that third governor yoke out of there. And at the same time, that's that long governor rod they call that. This that little fork that goes up in there. Well, I think it needs a little adjustment there. We'll see about that. But otherwise, it's a good one. So now, it will. Oh yeah. Surprising, very surprising to me that this one here is still intact. There's a pin that comes out from this housing that goes through that collar down there. To keep this collar from turning right here. See, it don't turn. It's the other mechanism in there, it turns. But if you slide on around here and get it from that pin, then the whole thing does. But actually, the hole in this here governor flange right there is it's actually in pretty good shape. So I'll get a measurement on here and make sure that the flywheels are true and everything before we go too much further. You know. Oh yeah, I took these loose, and that done already broke already. As soon as I took it off to look down in there, but it's pretty clean and all. But you know, it's like all the rest of them. You know, you have to, start with one piece at least. And one of the deciding factors on these engines, cost-wise and all, is, the good parts you have and the parts you're going to have to purchase. Okay? On this right here, and that's not to say that this engine wouldn't start and run. Probably was running like it was. But, if you're going to set it back to any degree of originality, and they are available used in very good condition and reproduction. So, that would be one of the things that would be on the list to replace that rocker arm. Also, because this has been broke and then something added to it to gain the distance back so it would operate. The fuel pump rocker has been welded, so you would surely want to procure a better one. So, and the valves, they're loose, looking at them. But the good part of this one, and it is it's shop built, and they did a good job. So if the valves are good, then that will be one of the reasons and this is a spark plug that was in this engine. I'll show it to you, but it's got a lot of threads on it. And the thread in the head is good. But this is the spark plug that was in this engine. It's a Champion C4. That's a big old plug. But But this governor mechanism works good and it seals good inside. So, you know, that's an asset right there. Well, that's a bigger one. That's a reasonable size right there. It's that 7 motes. Oh, it's pretty tight. This bolt was too tight. It should not have been that tight. I didn't know it was going to be that loose. So that's the condition of the head. And you know, just looking at it right there, it looks real good. Except that bottom valve may have some carbon around it. So we may be all right there. Yeah, we'll get a lamp to look up in there. You know, with the light reflection and everything, you know, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for me to relay anything pretty much like what I'm actually seeing here, and to convey that by video. It's going to be hard to do there because it's probably looks worse than it is. See, that's the distance right there. That's the distance of piston travel. You know, that's a stud out of the. That's exactly how much it is. This is the stud that came out right there, but that's how deep of a combustion chamber that you have on these M's, minus the flange on the head that sticks back in there about 1/4 of an inch, I think. But and this part out here, it don't. This kinda is unimportant as to the engine running as we run them. It's the part of importance is the part that is ring travel. But I'll show you the go-to tool. Oh, yeah. This is the one to use with the half round shape blade. And the only part that touches the cylinder is the round part here. You would never gouge it with the point. You use it as a scraper, as a rounder like that. And these are really good. Most of them are different grades of carbon. Better brands, I think, might be a higher grade. But they make wonderful scrapers for a gas engine to clean this carbon right here built up, light rust or whatever contamination you have in there, and of importance, you know. Of importance is where if the rings are worn a great amount and you put some new bushings in it and change the adjustment on the crank and you put new rings in it, if it's worn bad enough, it'll cause you problems because your ring will come up there. Especially if you change a piston even. At the top up there where it would be worn. So they make a tool to turn that down if it's too great. you know, bought the engine up there in Portland, Indiana, along with that John Deere out there. And both of them had them wooden pulleys on them. You could tell they came from the same person. And back on the back row back there, way back by the fence, you know, really cheap. Engines is worn really bad. Price was probably consuming it to the wear on the engine. But nonetheless, take this engine here. I've done took it apart to evaluate it. Instantly, I know it needs that gas tank. I have a used one that I took off of another engine sometime in the past and replaced it with a new one, but it's still good, usable. So I'm going to sell it to this engine project. I've done got a ring in the piston hole right there, and it's really close gap on it. So I'll check it tomorrow, and I think I'll file the ends on it a little bit. That cylinder's not wore any at all. So, you know, I guess I'm going to pull that cylinder out of there. I wasn't aiming to, you know. Probably should take the cylinder out of the block and put a new O-ring in it if I'm going to put rings in it. I think the cylinder sleeve inside is good enough to do that. But, you know, like gas tank, there's $100, you know. It's got to have an oiler, you know. I would get one from Zach Norway up there. You know, he's got some good oilers. I've used a couple of here lately of his oilers, and they're quality products. And, you know, it'll get you normal bill of affairs, you know, like a new spark plug, you know, a new head gasket, you know. And them valves, you know, what you do there, make two, you know. The venturier, as always, broke half in two when I took it apart. So it's got to have that new venturier. Needle valve's homemade, works, you know. I'll probably replace it, I guess, you know. But I was only going to take it apart to verify that timing gears was in time. So y'all come on back and we'll do that. We just go ahead and break the whole thing down, put it back together. You know, start with one piece. Man. Y'all come along from the journey. From here in Middle Tennessee. They say it's a geographical center or something. Y'all come on back. Shop Dog Sam.